And maybe 6 or 7 months later, you get an answer by mail. So you open the envelope, and it said, you did really interesting stuff. We're a serious journal. We don't publish about Canada and other insignificant countries. Goodbye. So what did I do? Pardon? That was the serious journal. Now there's many journals. In those days we didn't have the luxury. So I took my same questions and I went to the United States and I asked the same questions. And I found the same things. I asked people from the big city, why are you an entrepreneur? And they said, because I like to work hard, I like to control others, I like to have lots of money, I like to have lots of power. I like to tell people what to do. Then I asked the indigenous people, why are you self-employed? They said, well, you know, if I work for somebody, it's too much risk, I can get fired. So I better have my own job. And I don't need a lot of money, so I don't work a lot. I work a bit, and the rest of the time, I go hunting and fishing. Found the exact same things in America. Suddenly it was okay. And so in my theory building, I showed that entrepreneurship was a function of culture. Sometimes people think that entrepreneurship is a function of money. But I give you an example. Would you rather I give you a ringgit or I give you a New Zealand dollar? New Zealand dollar is worth more if you're going to New Zealand. If you're going to take the New Zealand dollar and go to the bank and try to change it, they don't take the coin. So your New Zealand dollar is worthless, actually. So the ringgit you can spend in Malaysia is worth more. But in theory, if you're going to New Zealand today, then the dollar is worth more. What am I telling you? Is that your reasoning is not only financial. New Zealand dollar is worth more than a ringgit, but after you pay the commission to change it on $1, and they don't take coins anyway, well, it's a lost cause. So do I rather have a dollar that's more, that's useless, or a ringgit that's, I can buy something with it? And so the opportunity depends on who I am, where I'm going, what I'm going to do with it. And much of that, in the case of entrepreneurship, is culturally based. 2007, I did a very tiring ethnographic study. I went to live with an Amish family. You know the Amish? The Amish are very wealthy entrepreneurs in America. They have no cell phone, no TV, no electricity, no hot water, no car. They don't take the MRT. They don't take the bus. And they farm with horses. They wake up before sunrise, they pray in German, and then they go milk the cows. And after that, then you can have breakfast. And so I agreed to go and milk cows so I could learn about how they do that. Very, very hard, but interesting. And I learned from them that profit is not the primary motive for entrepreneurship. So in terms of data collection method, remember I told you earlier that you can participate or not, and there's advantages to participating. So here I did a lot of work with the Sami people. These people are busy working. And if you send them an email, they're not going to get it. And to say, hi, can you stop and answer the question, they're not interested. So the only way you're going to write about them is to sit there and have your hands full of blood up to here and mud up to here and watch what's going on. So the ethnography can be dirty. And sometimes the animals kick you, but he is a young one, so that's all right. So data collection methods, observation and participant observation. The observer systematically seeks out and organizes data. We're not focusing on achieving one goal. We're looking at records and learning from them. Because in fact, qualitative research is really about learning. Observations are closely monitored for evidence of bias. The moment you say, I don't like this, or this isn't fun, or this is dirty, that's a bias. You're supposed to be there observing, not judging. This isn't supposed to be fun. Rather than simply observe, the observer actively participates in what's going on. Very, very important to be one of the group and not just looking at it. I hope I motivated you a bit. And if you have questions, we can do some questions today, tomorrow, next week, and next month, whenever you like. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your attention. And I'm at your service. Yes?
May I ask you, Professor?
Please.
I want to ask you about the observations method.
Yes.
Sometimes observations doesn't have theory. Say that blah blah blah, such as blah blah blah, A, B, C, D. So in the fact, our theory that we found the one variable, but doesn't people have quote this theory, because this theory original of ours.
That's good.
Can we use the once the variable doesn't have theory in the
Absolutely. That becomes a good study.
Okay, and then how we can collaborate it about the grand theory, middle, and applied theory.
By the literature review, your literature review should be relevant and guide the reader into what you're going to get to. And then in your conclusion, you show the relationship of how you contributed to the literature. The literature says 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and you invented 4. And now, because of you, we have 1 all the way to 7, including 4 because you invented 4. So that's a good study. The problem is when you don't find something new.
Yeah. The novelty for one research we can something new, right? Is it
Yeah.
a novelty called?
Yeah.
But the one paper is have a combination from one theory for Mr. X and one theory for Mr. B. Can we call this as a new theory of our research?
Absolutely. And it's good.
Is it a novelty of us?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I have a question.
Would you be so kind to open the door? There's some warm air here. Thank you.
Can I help her with the mic?
Yes, yes, please.
If I do the interview, if I do the interview, do I need to record?
Yes.
But for example, if I interview some people, I send our record to every set, then he will feel nervous. So I think sometimes he will reluctant to answer some questions, and he will not answer.
Yes, yes,
So
but
in that case, what do we do?
sometimes they don't tell you the whole story if they're being taped. But more likely, if they're not being taped, you don't remember the whole story.
Yeah.
And so the guy said he had 573 employees or 537, I don't remember. So you write in the article, I interviewed this man and he had or 537 or 573, but I mixed up. So the reviewer is going to say, please buy a tape recorder.
But Professor, sometimes the respondents doesn't want me typing what the question of for us and to them.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with questionnaires, and that's where ethnography is much better, in that you don't rely on him saying 537 or 573 or forgetting or remembering. You're there, you can count them.
Yeah.
You saw the guy with his reindeer? If you ask him how many reindeer he has, he never answers you. In his culture, he's not allowed to tell you. I can ask him what color underwear he wears, that's okay. But I can't ask him how many animals he has. So how do I find out?
Just count yourself.
I'd have to ask. So this is why I try to introduce you an alternative method that you don't have to rely nor on him talking, nor on you taping. If you go to the factory, and you spend a day in the factory, you don't have to ask very much. Somebody else? Yes, please.
You discussed about ethnography, so there is a perception that when we talk about action research,
Yep.
so how different is it? Like the action research is a bigger umbrella and
Yeah.
ethnography is a part of it?
Yep. Yes, please.
I would like to ask something regarding this quantitative research. I mean, it's based on the, what we, observe. I mean, and so on. I mean, what we investigate. But my question is, how do we actually, find? I mean, be able to know that the person who do the qualitative research in terms of his findings, his observations and investigations, so on, are they right or wrong? Are they biased or unbiased? So where is the measuring or judgment tool of it? Or I mean, different people have different interpretations.
Absolutely.
So where is the measuring and judgment tool in this qualitative research? I mean, since different people have different interpretations, isn't that similar to journalism? So, or there's totally no right or wrong in qualitative research?
Absolutely. You see, if I read a book, one article or one book by Mr. X, Country Y, and another article or book by Mr. B, Country Z. The first one says that the country is very good, the second one says the country is very bad. I say beware of the bias because it's not the same guy. What's your name?
Dr. Liu.
So if Dr. Liu says that Hong Kong has more laissez-faire policy than Trinidad, I believe you because you studied both and you can compare both from the same standard. But if somebody writes about Hong Kong and somebody writes about Trinidad, how do I understand that they're equal? So there's a very big room for bias. One way to reduce it is to look at what the same author has written about both countries. You can always find that. So there's safety in quantitative because they're numbers. And we say, oh, they're numbers, and then we have very, very sophisticated software to manipulate those numbers. We can come up with beautiful chi-squared, we can come up with everything. And so it's very, very comfortable to play in the quantitative game. And many people avoid the qualitative because of what you said is so much high risk. You see, I'm an old man, I'm freezing. But I bet you somebody young, he's standing here, he's not freezing. So is it freezing or it's not freezing? But it depends. You see, I don't like the cold. If I wanted the cold, I go live in Siberia. I like Malaysian weather. I like the hot. Some people, they like the cold. Who's right? Nobody's right. Just old man likes the warm and young man likes the cold. You see, there's a lot of room for ambiguity. Is that a good answer?
So, I mean, since different people have different interpretations and answers, so where's the value of it, all this? I mean, as compared to quantitative research where you have a hypothesis for empirical testing. For qualitative research, it is so subjective in nature. So how do we see the value of that? I mean, as compared with quantitative research?
It's very difficult, that's why people stay away from it. However, how do you come up with the hypotheses to test if you haven't done the qualitative to know what to test? So the qualitative gives you ideas for the hypotheses that later can be quantitatively tested with numbers. Somebody else?
Yeah.
Please.
So can we say that if I want to relate research with the case study and I want to compare, and because case studies will start from problem, we will identify the problem first, then we will find out the questions related with that problem, and we are looking for the answers.
Yes.
And that is more close to the objectivity and right to the target.
Yes.
And we are obviously we are spending less time on it.
Yes.
Okay, but in research, as he said, he mentioned that if we are having the observations and if we are not sure about the biasness and unbiasedness of those observations, and we are putting in the hypothesis and we are testing all these things. But yes, we have qualitative and we have quantitative. Qualitative is totally based on the subjective matter.
Yes.
But am I right that quantitative research is having more portion of the objectivity?
Yes.
But yes, there is a subjectivity as well.
Yes, because the responses can have subjectivity.
So if I just want to know about the importance of the research in the upcoming era in the world, that the people, they should focus towards the case studies or towards the research, because the general phenomena of regarding the research is not too much good as compared to the case study, because the employers, they want the immediate immediate answers, and they want the immediate results of the problems what their organization is facing.
If you're a young researcher looking for a job, you'll get your CV more full with quantitative studies more fast.
Professor,
Please.
that I
Last
know,
question, please. Last question.
just sharing. But now, how about mixed method? Can we combine in quantitative and qualitative?
Mixed method is great, however, a journal might take 2 or 3 years to give you an answer. Why? And I speak to many journal editors. Why does it take so long? Because you use a mixed method. Then we've got to find referees who are experts in what you've used. Sometimes it'll take 2 or 3 years for you to get an answer from the journal. After 3 years, they say, please make all these changes. And then you send them, and then 3 years later, you get an answer. Meanwhile, your boss says, what have you done the past 7 years? Oh, I did one multi-method paper that maybe will be accepted. High risk.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience.
Thank you so very much, Prof. Another round of applause, please. It's been very educative, and thank you so much. I have to cut, or rather stop the questions here, because Prof. Leopold just came in this morning from New Zealand, and he's here with us. One thing with those researchers or academicians like Prof. Leopold is, once you give them the opportunity, they would want to talk and talk and talk again and again and again. They would want to share for as long as they can, but then we should somehow try to give them some